Welcome everyone, welcome to From the Author's Corner. It's the third Thursday here on the show called Inside the Zone. I'm your host, Lady D, and with me is Pauline Hightower. Would you like to say hi, Pauline, to the audience?
Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you guys are having a good evening.
I'm sure they are. Now they're hearing you. And they're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Author's Zone this evening, Pauline Hightower, born of Jamaican descent, raised in Long Island, New York. Pauline is second to the youngest of 9 children. Although Pauline is good at countless things, poetry is something she does naturally with no poetic influences. Pauline has been writing since the age of 9. She has allowed her fear, pain, and passion to steer her in the direction of eloquent expressions. Lyrical Bondage emerges from writing poetry for over 3 decades and finally having a platform to exhibit her work uncensored. Lyrical Bondage is outspoken and untamed. Pauline has unleashed an expression of sensuality, passion, fantasies, and fiction to give you a part of her life unbound. Her selection of words was created purposely to capture your imagination. Once you open the book, your appetite will increase. Be prepared to be unrestrained. I don't know what else to say, Pauline, but to say, welcome. And I'm sure those persons who have already gotten the opportunity to read your book has had to say, wow, they've had to get a fan, they've had to go drink some water, and whatever else, right? So, yes, absolutely.
I probably had to do the same thing while I was
And of course, I want to say hi. I wonder if Sabrina is tuned in or she's on the job. Because I saw her this morning, Pauline, and I said I'll be talking to Pauline this evening. I think I told her the time. So I'm hoping she's getting a chance. She should be on. So I'm hoping so myself. I'd like to say hello to all those who are stopping by on the Facebook Live. Welcome to Linkage Radio 104.5 FM, 101.7. And you may log on to www.linkageradio.com. Wherever you are, it's going to be a great evening. My guest is Pauline Hightower. The show is Inside the Zone from the Author's Zone. So let's zoom in now, Pauline. I gather you're from Jamaica. You were raised... You were born in...
I was raised in the U.S.
Oh, you were raised in the U.S. here. But you were born in Jamaica.
No, yes, I am born Jamaican, correct. Dad is from St. Thomas, Mom is from Maypen.
What a combination. Maypen and St. Thomas. They're known for a lot of things. So the combination, I guess, is what produced the whole lyrical bondage thing going on here, you think? Your lineage, yes, your lineage sparks a great deal. But let's start talking, because I know that there are persons who want to get as much out of our interview this evening, and so do we. And as host of the program, I certainly don't want to ramble too much. It's all about you and you and you and you alone this evening. So welcome to you once again, everybody. All right, Pauline. So now that I've established you're Jamaican, you were raised in Long Island, we are going to be talking now about your book, Lyrical Bondage. It's a poetic piece. It's erotic, and I had to tell Pauline that in light of all of that, I'm going to have to work with the program and streamline her somewhat, so we don't fall off the wagon here. 5 minutes after 7 o'clock. Now, at the age of 9, you had an affinity to writing poetry. So walk us through the steps. Why? What inspired you? Was it your environment? The people around you? What is it that intrigued you so much about writing poetry?
So when I was growing up, I really didn't know when I was writing it was technically poetry. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would literally get a pen and a paper and I would just write my thoughts. And I would write songs, I would write poems, rap. I didn't really know what it meant. So I would just say that God gave me a gift to write. And when I would write, it was like somebody else had my hand. I would just write and then it would make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, this is rhyming. This could be a song. This could be a poem. And yeah, and it just grew, and it just like paper, tissue, anything I could write on my hand, and I could get to somewhere I could, write this stuff down. But I always kept a pen handy because for some reason, I didn't grow up with anyone in my family actually being a poet. I don't have any heritage of any legendary poets of history in my family, so I didn't grow up reading any poetry books. I just one day woke up and I was literally writing lyrics.
So it's a gift.
Yes, definitely.
It's a gift. Now, let me ask you, in addition to that, lyrical bondage, as I mentioned in my opening piece to the audience, that it either cause you to fan, want you to drink water, have you have a shower, something happening to you. But it is indeed a page turner. It's erotic. It's, it's primal.
Right.
And who is your primary audience for this book, really?
For the audience, this book is definitely for mature audiences only. Young adults around the ages of 18 plus. Lyrical Bondage is definitely not a bedtime story for the little ones. So I would suggest that if you're under 18, you should not be reading this book.
Okay. And would you also say that you wrote it with the concept of trying to have people experience something that's hidden within them? Because we are all primal. We are created flesh and blood with feelings and emotions, and we are stimulated. Many people have kind of put that on hold for whatever reason, or they are so fearful of what they feel when that comes, which is natural.
Right.
How do you then relate?
Sexuality. They don't want to talk about it because they think it's something taboo. I think that sexuality should be something talked about. It's something natural. So when I write, sometimes I'm writing on pure feeling. It may have nothing to do with experience. I may not have witnessed anything. I could be writing about a tree, and all of a sudden the tree turns out to be a sexual human being, and it's something that we think of naturally anyway. The things that we think of, we could look at a red light or the sky, and all of a sudden we're picturing something sexual. So yes, when I write, I want people to feel what I'm writing because I'm feeling it. So I'm hoping that when I write, you're feeling exactly what I'm feeling.
Yes, absolutely. For those who are listening and watching, if you'd like to call, you may call us here at 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934, 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934. Lyrical Bondage, written by Pauline Hightower. And we're talking about, people who are intimidated by how they feel. We know that there are extremities in just about everything that exists on this planet. It's either you are way to the left or you're to the extreme right. Now it's taboo in many countries. People don't want to talk about it. Their sexual desires, and I'm going to flip the script because I know that while you have married couples, you have people who are dating, there are some things, Pauline, that was just never told to you. But your parents perhaps weren't told either. So they don't even know how to relate. So when you, as a young person, would perhaps go to your parents or so, and you say, well, why do I feel this way? They give you some offhanded response because they really don't know themselves. Now, when someone takes up Lyrical Bondage and they start to read it, it's one of two things, and that's my take on it. It's either they will say, this is way too heavy for me, or somebody say, this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raised in a Christian home. Both parents Jamaican, of course, very strict. My mother's now ordained. If I was to ask for permission to write this book, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you today.
Right.
So, to me, writing is an art, and it should be orchestrated by people who are, it shouldn't be orchestrated by people who are unfamiliar with the freedom to express.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I couldn't express these things, and that's why Lyrical Bondage is called Lyrical Bondage. I've been writing since I was young, and not too many people who knew me even knew I wrote left and right like this.
Right.
So when I got older, I realized that the fact that I write like this, the way that, you talk to your parents or you talk to your friends and no one, even friends, like, girl, don't talk to me like that, I don't really do that kind of stuff. So it's like, you can't really talk about sex freely. So I figured that since I speak freely, and I speak freely to my mom about sex, which is kind of weird. Most people don't do that, but she thought it was kind of, unique as well. Like, wow, you're so free to speak to me about, your sexual encounters. But when I started doing the poetry, I'm like, I hope people feel what I'm writing, because this is something you should be happy to speak about. You should be, willing to express how you actually feel sexually, whether it's fiction or fact. It should be okay to just speak about it.
Yes. And let me just show my audience on the Facebook Live what the cover is like. Who designed the cover for you?
Actually, I did. What I did was
you got talent. Yeah.
And it took me about almost a year. I had several pictures and several designs, and if you would have seen the original, you would be like, wow, you came a long way. So I have a very vivid imagination. So I took pictures, and I wanted to smoke, and I wanted something sensual, something sexy.
Right.
And I did the photo shoot specifically for the cover, and then I was like, it would be nice if it looked like a picture is literally burning from the edges with the smoke. So I'm just thinking of anything sensual, sexual, everything passionate that can be in a photo. If you look at it today and it didn't have a title, what would you picture? I wanted you to feel the cover. So that's basically, it was my design. I had an illustrator.
It's beautiful, beautifully done. So congratulations on that. As a poet myself, I have never gone this deep. I mean, I can recall the one little poetry I wrote one time along some beach somewhere, which was all in my mind, no experience, and it was well received. So I do know that I do have a little stuff. But when I read through the book and I noted how you transitioned from one chapter to the next, it told me that there was just, intent and purpose to captivate your reader. And I wonder to myself if, a Christian man or woman would actually like reading this book. Perhaps they would, perhaps they would not. Because there is nothing overly lewd in the book. It's not overly, the first word I might have to put it down. But I wanted to get a clear understanding, because nothing beats a clear understanding in order for you to have an intelligent conversation. So I had to get a clear understanding as to where your mind is, but also I note the overtones, and I said to myself, I don't know how many persons will be able to actually sit and just read it and appreciate the craft, and not to dwell too much on seeing themselves being manifested like that in the physical. Because some people will now go say, this lady causing me to feel things I don't want to feel.
Right, which is not a bad thing. So society will make you feel like you shouldn't, but if you ask yourself why not, what is your answer? Who has the answer? Like, why not feel? Like, if my book makes you feel, maybe that's what you need in your life, to feel. My mom is ordained. It took her 30 days to meet her, because I asked her the first time I got her book. I didn't even tell her what the book was about, because I knew what I would get if I told her I was writing a book of poetry, erotic. So I literally waited until the book was published, and I sent her a book. The first time I asked her, did she read the book, she gave me some words, and I was just like, I felt kind of sad, like, wow, I didn't want that response. So I waited a while, I waited about a month, and I said, Mom, I need to know if you ever read the book. Like, did you ever read it? And finally, she was like, yes, I did. And this was a Christian ordained woman.
Yes.
And she said, she went past the language that, you can't say on live radio. But she said that when she read it, though, what she took out of it was that it was a great piece of work. She said, you really can write. And I enjoyed it. She said, I read it in a day and a half, and I really loved your writing. She's like, I don't really understand, but I had some feelings that I didn't need.
Exactly.
And that's the problem we're having when people don't want to feel. She said she's like, she's too old to be feeling like that. But she told me she really enjoyed the book, and that made my day. I was like, thank you, because that's all I needed to hear. That's all a child want to hear from their parents, is that they're, satisfied and feeling proud.
Absolutely. Lyrical Bondage. How did you come up with the title for the book?
Because I write, lyrical comes from the writing. Since I actually write short stories, whether it was like in English or just, I love to sit down and write. I can, like right now, I'm doing a story about my life and I'm putting it on record. So lyrical came from me just loving to write. Bondage came from, before it became sexual, bondage came from me not speaking. No one knew, like there's probably only 10% of my friends actually know that I write poetry. And anybody who knows me now, reads this book, they can't tell you that they knew all along that I wrote poetry, because I didn't share it with a lot of people. I did maybe stand up a couple times in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I have like 1 or 2 friends that actually witnessed me do live poetry. No one else has ever seen me do poetry. So coming out of bondage was one of those things where I had a friend that was like, well, let's just put those 2 words together, And I was like, well, I don't know, bondage is kind of, risky. After I realized Lyrical Bondage is my personality, that's when I created the poem, Lyrical Bondage.
Oh, I believe it is well written, and I like the colors, because it's subtle. It sends a message. It's not loud. It's not orange and green mixed together, and the cover is off the hook. So need I say more on that? So congrats. Now we are making the transition to wrapping up our segment, but I wanted to say that human beings over the years, we have come to a place where, and this is from time immemorial, might I add, it's just that we are now, especially in this country and other countries too, seeing people's sexuality either being considered confused, either, as I say, overly exhausting. It's so much up into your face that you sometimes say, I can't. I just cannot. Because we are of the view, many of us, that whatever you do behind closed doors, in whether it's bedroom or wherever the door is closed, that's your business. We don't really need to know on the outside. Now, in your estimation as a lyricist, you write, you have coined your thoughts and your experience into lyrical bondage. How much do you think becomes too much?
For me, too much is like inviting people into your relationship or your marriage for pleasure. Violence is too much. Surgery is too much. If you say you're happy with who you are and you have confidence and you know what you want out of life, I don't think you need to do surgery. I'm not against what people do, but I don't know if surgery is the answer, because that's the outer surface. You're still you on the inside, so who are you really? So too much for me is just inviting people into your relationship, which I believe in exchanging the wrong spirit. If you have the oneness with this person and you bring in another person in your relationship, you now have altered the spirit of the oneness. So that's too much for me.
Yes, and I agree with you, because many people don't understand that once you become physically intimate with someone, you're transferring bodily fluids from one person to the next. You're transferring another person's emotions into your own. You're transferring thoughts into each other, and you become connected. Even if you move on to the next 50 person, the 50th person down the road, there is always going to be the previous 49.
Yes.
We perhaps don't see it like that, but once you embrace somebody into your space like that, and you're committed to that kind of physical entanglement, then yes, even if they go away, which is why we are so fearfully and wonderfully made, because no matter where you are in the world, every now and again, that person's image pops up. For whatever reason, their memories won't ever leave you. And so, while you have written this book and people are enjoying it, and I too have read it, I'm perhaps like your mother. I had to kind of read the first chapter and put it on hold and say, am I supposed to really be talking to Pauline about this book? But then I knew the direction in which I would steer our discussion, so that your audience who are listening will not think, oh, what a book, me no want buy that. But it is a book that if you're open to understanding about emotions and how you feel, then Pauline has carefully written it out for you. If you feel you know everything, right, Pauline, and they don't really need it, then what are we going to do?
Just make it pure entertainment.
Right?
That's what I'm here to do, that too.
Absolutely.
Go for
Yes. But Lyrical Bondage, how can they get a copy?
You can go on my website, www.lyricalbondage.com, or you can search my name in Google, and you can find it on Amazon, Pauline Hightower, Lyrical Bondage. You can put all the words together, and Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can actually purchase the hard copy and the digital version.
Okay. Lyrical Bondage, Pauline Hightower, erotic poetry. I'm sure that if I were to do a voiceover for one of these pages, they would run to go buy it,
Yeah.
Yeah, because after I finish with my voice on this book here, they would not want to miss buying it. But I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, you can get your copy. It's titled Lyrical Bondage, Erotic Poetry, Pauline Hightower. Hightower is one word. And get your copy today. You are working on something else, Pauline, so we're looking forward to that too.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I am going to be working on my life story, and it is going to be interesting.
Lord of mercy. So I think we need to brace ourselves for that.
Yes.
And Mom will be able to read with a little more peace.
Yeah, this one you could probably read with your children, though. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns. It's going to be more like a suspense.
A suspense.
More so than the erotic.
All right. Now, I know you had your book launch. Was it a launch?
Yes.
June 11th?
June 11th was the official launch date.
And how did that go?
So far, it's been going really good. I'm getting sales everywhere. Like, people are responding in the way that I thought they would. So it's nothing negative. It's all positive. And a lot of people are telling people, their friends, co-workers, people that I'm just meeting. Everybody is supporting me. So I'm getting a lot of Lyrical Bondage support.
All right. So let me say hello to all those who are tuned into the show on Linkage Radio 104.5 FM, 101.7, linkageradio.com, Linkage Radio on Ustream, and or Linkage Radio app. And for those who are stopping by here and there to say hello to us on the Facebook Live, I'd like to say hi to Joshua Spencer. Hey, Simone, Simi, Patricia Brown. Well, Patricia is all the way in Jamaica, by the way. And hi to Sabrina, who says she's here. And she says, yes, I am. And to Delroy, hello, Delroy.
Shout out to Sabrina, right, my niece. Hello, I love you.
Yes, I remember when we were chatting, and she said it to me that she has another niece and she writes a book and something. So I said sure, because I have an author's corner. So here we are having the discussion, and it has been my pleasure. I wish you well. and that the book will be a sell-off, as they say, and you won't have hands. You'll have to ask your publishing company for copies, you know, stuff like that. So I'm actually speaking into your life and your work.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, ladies, for having me on radio. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. So all the best. Looking forward to speaking with you when your new book comes out. And once again, to all those who like a copy, Lyrical Bondage, Pauline Hightower. This has been From the Author's Corner. I like to say to my guests when they have a sit-in with me, Pauline, walk good.
Yeah, man.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. All right, that was Pauline Hightower. Thanks to all those who stopped by to listen and to tune into this interview. Lyrical Bondage, believe me, it's just thoughts and nothing that's going to cause you any heartache. You know, nothing that, but it's certainly intense, and if you are that kind of person, then you will like it. If you are a little more on the, you know, side, you might not like it so much. But that aside, you know, I'm pretty open-minded. I don't embrace a lot of things into my life. I have to, you know, sieve you more or less. But the book is really good. So get your copy, ladies and gentlemen. 7:27 p.m. I'll be signing off on the Facebook. Thank you for joining me. And then I'll be signing back on because I have my segment coming up, Music Zone, and I'm going to be taking you places. So stick and stay with me. Don't go anywhere.